Salut! Here are your guided notes for les pronoms sujets. Please use these notes if you have trouble understanding me in class. If I'm glitching out in class, you can use these slides to fill out your notes. So, les pronoms sujets are actually subject pronouns. In French, il y a deux catégories différentes des pronoms sujets. There are two different categories of subject pronouns. The first are singular subjects, and the second are plural subjects. So please, in your notes, you are writing in subject pronouns. You are writing in there are singular subjects and there are plural subjects. A subject pronoun replaces the subject of a sentence. The subject is the person or thing that does the action. And I'll give you an example. I play. I is the subject. My brother and I do our homework. My brother and I are the subjects. I would replace my brother and I with the subject we in English. So let's take a look at the subject pronouns in French. Je. Say it with me. Je. Je means I. Please put I in your notes. Tu. Tu means you. Again, anything that's red that's coming up, you're writing this in your notes. Il. Il means he. Elle. Elle means she. On. This is a weird one because we really don't have this one so much in English. I am going to call this anyone. Sometimes in English, we actually use the subject pronoun we when the French would use on. And we'll get some more examples of that as we go through the school year. Now we're on to plural subjects, so where there's more than one person. Nous. Nous means we. Vous. Vous means you guys, or if we were in the South, they'd say y'all. Keep in mind also, though, that vous is tricky, and we're going to come back to that. Il. Il is they, for boys only or boys and girls. Here is il, they. You can see there's a boy and a girl, and they are still considered il, they. Elle. Elle is they for only girls. Let's take a look at the tu or the vous. We've seen in the past that tu and vous can be formal or informal. Tu is always informal or friendly, and vous is always formal or polite. Now I'm going to tell you that tu is always singular and vous is always plural. So tu is when I'm talking to you and only you, singular. Vous is when I'm talking to you and somebody else, plural. But keep in mind that tu is informal or friendly. So, utilises-tu quand tu parles à une amie or un ami? Use tu when you speak to a friend. Use tu parles à une personne que tu connais bien. Use tu when you speak to a person that you know well. Utilises-tu quand tu parles à un enfant? You're going to use tu when you speak to a child. Utilises-tu quand tu parles à une personne dans la famille? You're going to use tu when you speak to somebody in your family. Those are all friendly ways to speak to somebody. You're going to use vous quand tu parles à un prof, when you talk to a teacher or an adult. Utilise vous quand tu parles à un groupe. You're going to use vous when you talk to a group of people, more than one person. And utilise vous quand tu parles à une personne que tu ne connais pas bien. So you're going to use vous when you speak to somebody who you don't know very well. You're going to be more polite. So vous is tricky. Keep that in mind. Make any necessary notes in your on your guided notes if you have to separate tu and vous. So let's look at something else that's kind of weird with the French language. So when we talk about things and we want to say it, we use the masculine or feminine of that object. So in French, every noun is either masculine or feminine. And we've talked about this with our nationalities, but now we're talking about things. So for example, this sentence says here, si la chose est féminine, il faut choisir elle. Here's a chair, une chaise. Because it is une, which is feminine, we have to use elle when we're talking about this chair to say it. So just be careful as you're talking about things that you know if it's masculine or feminine. And right now, you're going to have to look things up to find out if it's masculine or feminine. Or you're going to have to ask me, and that's okay. Please write these sentences in your notes. We can also use subject pronouns with things. Things in French can be masculine or feminine. If the thing is feminine, you must use elle. And in that case, elle means it. If something is masculine, you're going to use il. So here we have un crayon. Un crayon is masculine, and to say it, for a masculine item, you have to use il. This happens also if something is plural, so there's more than one. So here there is more than one calculator. Des calculatrices. Des calculatrices are feminine, so to say they, like they are, they are black, they have numbers on them. You want to use elle, plural. Des cahiers are notebooks. To say they for the notebooks, plural, des cahiers are masculine, and you have to use il. So this says, les pronoms sujets et les verbes travaillent ensemble pour former des belles phrases françaises. Il faut absolument utiliser la bonne forme du verbe pour chaque pronom, et les formes changent selon le verbe. So, in English here, subjects and verbs must agree. I will say this a lot as we're getting more into the grammar. For example, I play, but he plays. Notice I add the S to the end of play when I talk about he. I am, he is. I have to completely change that word to say he is. I can't say I is, and I can't say he am. So I am, he is. Please write this in your notes and pause if necessary. If you have any questions about this after you take your notes and you review, before you do the activity on the next slide, please let me know if I can help you in any way. Email me or message me during our classroom meeting. Merci. Au revoir.